T-Talk, the best radio show. Spilling the tea with Ashley and me. T-Talk, the best radio show. Spilling the
Oh. No, because I'm always making Frasier references.
Oh, so you're...
They're like, oh yeah, another Frasier reference. Okay. Okay.
What a bunch of haters.
I know, right?
What a bunch of haters.
They just don't understand Frasier.
Also, your voice just got clear, so I feel like we're officially started.
Okay.
Welcome to the Tea Talk.
Welcome.
You're listening.
You're listening. We're listening.
We're listening to each other, sort of. And you're listening to us. Because you got nothing else to do. Oh, God.
Obviously.
I mean, go on iTunes. There's a bunch of stuff you can get.
You can even go on YouTube and yeah.
Yeah, you can just go on YouTube and just, like, type on the YouTube search, like, I don't know, your favorite artist and be like, full album. And you'll find a video with a full album and it just streams and you're like, yeah, this is not legal, but I'm enjoying it.
Unless it's a VEVO.
I don't like VEVO. How did that happen?
I don't know. I remember when it started happening and I was just like, what is this new video service?
Right. I was like, why?
Why can't it just be YouTube?
And then a bunch of artists that already had channels, they had to like switch to their VEVO channel.
I feel like it's because they were trying to keep like YouTube, like people just posting videos of themselves on YouTube, separate from like big companies and rich people.
Yeah, separate from official artists.
Like, yeah, industry kind of stuff, yeah.
Well, I don't know if signed, because there's a couple of YouTubers now. There's one that David hates, Troy Sivan. He has, I don't know if I should say names. Well, Blip Blip has a music video, and he's a YouTuber, and he has a VEVO.
Really? It must be a money thing then.
I don't know. I guess it's just like... Yeah, I guess if you're like certified or something.
I'm sure if we Googled it, we could actually find out information.
Right, but then what would life be?
What would we even be talking about right now?
All right, when we actually had doubts, if we went and researched those doubts and clear them out, then what would happen to all these conversations of...
This would be NPR.
I wonder why this is that way, and striking up a conversation of like, oh, maybe it's because of this, and then the other person has a different theory, and I feel like theories are fun. Yes, I'm a fun person.
Loads of fun.
I enjoy sharing theories with my friends.
What is VEVO?
How did VEVO happen? Yeah, but yeah, and then like, yeah, whatever. That topic's dead. I feel like our first tiny bit about your family making fun of you because of Frasier, I feel like that wraps up what we wanted to talk about today, which is TV shows and weird family stuff. Well, it's actually me and my family speaking Spanish and me not speaking Spanish.
Bilingual. Living in a Spanish-speaking world, but feeling like you're an English-speaking person.
Well, it's not that tragic. Well, I don't know. What do you want to tackle first? I feel like we want to tackle this first.
I feel like we should.
Because I feel like
it's fresh.
You had a bunch of questions.
Yeah. Well, I think my first question would be like, how did you learn speaking English?
I don't even know. That's...
So it's just kind of like this organic thing that just happened?
It just happened? No, well, it didn't. But it's funny because a lot of people ask me this when they find out that people in real life, when they find out that I speak English, they're like, oh, where did you study? And I'm like, nowhere. I guess the internet?
The internet?
I guess video games on the internet and music.
Basically immersing yourself into an English-speaking world.
Yeah. From pop culture and media, playing, like old-ass PlayStation 1 video games that had a lot of text. And, every day, like, I don't know, I would be playing, like, Resident Evil and games like that. And I would learn stuff because, like, I don't know, you grab something to your inventory and then you have the picture of what it is and it also says the word, like, this is that. So, like, I learn. Oh, that's a handgun. Oh, that's a grenade. I mean, I just picked basic ass words, but yeah. I guess I learned like that because I did have English at school. I had English since kindergarten. They made us learn, like what's an apple and what's a banana.
Right.
Which, by the way, banana is the same in Spanish, so we didn't learn much. We just learned the apple thing. We just learned the apple part, and that banana is the same. But then,
banana.
Banana.
Yeah.
That's in Spanish. There, I spoke Spanish and banana.
Or B-A-N-A-N. Okay, never mind.
Oh, Gwen Stefani. She's precious. But then, like, middle school and high school, like, the levels of English were basically the same. Because they had, like, I guess schools had to have, like, this policy, like, because there may be new students every year that maybe didn't have English, maybe came from a public school that didn't have English, they always had to start over.
Oh.
Every single year.
You didn't have different levels of Spanish, like or English, like English 1 or English 2?
No, it was
3?
just called English, like all through school.
Oh.
It was always English. It didn't have like levels.
Oh.
If you wanted to study English with levels, you had to go somewhere like specific to study English. And that's what I never did. And that's why people would ask me, oh, did you go to this or this English school or this academy? Was it particular? I'm like, no, I didn't go anywhere. And no, I didn't learn it from school because, like I said, like every single year it would be like, my name is this and I am so-and-so years old. The cat is under the table. The pencil is on the book. Like, yeah. It would be like that.
Okay, so kind of on the subject you were kind of talking about when people ask if you went to a school for it. Do people react funny whenever they speak English? Like, are they like, is it something that's really cool? Like, oh wow, you speak fluent English? Wow, that's cool. Because here, if I see some white girl and she's like spitting out Spanish like fluent and it sounds crazy legit, I'd be like, what? You don't see that very often.
Right. Well, I also think it's, I don't know, in America it's like weird seeing people that speak other languages well is like it's like a rare thing. It's like, what planet are you from? Are you really American? Because Americans speak American. Like I can't even. Like I need another.
Even with this right now.
I need another latte. Yeah, people do react sometimes though, because it's funny because I just said that whole thing, but now I'm gonna sound like I'm full of shit because it happens here too. If people speak other languages, I think Argentina is kind of like the Latin America version of the United States. In the mentality, especially in Buenos Aires, because the rest of the country is very diverse. But especially in Buenos Aires, there's this mentality that this country is the only country in the universe. Therefore, whenever there's a cultural thing that's foreign to them, they're very... there's a lot of xenophobia here, like with people from Bolivia or Paraguay. I guess how it would happen in America with like Mexicans, it happens here. They're very mean and treat people from other countries like lesser beings sometimes. And I mean, of course, it's just ignorant people,
right?
But it is present. So yeah, whenever somebody knows something from another culture or speaks another language, it's like, what? Were you raised there? Did you move here? How did you learn that?
Yeah, because like honestly, just listening to your voice, if I didn't know you were from Argentina, I mean, I wouldn't know that English wasn't even your first language.
Well, I wouldn't know either. It's so weird, English. I mean, I know there must be a psychological problem underneath it all. There must be some complex in my brain that makes me feel more comfortable speaking a language that I wasn't taught where I live. I don't know what that is.
So you would say that'll have to be a cut. No, that we can't have that. That was a crazy time. That would have made a great segue for the next segment of this show, actually. So are you more comfortable speaking English than Spanish?
Yes.
Wow, that's so crazy. I can't get my mind around that. Like, that's just, I think that's so interesting.
I mean, yeah, the short answer is yes. There are many things, like I can speak Spanish, like I have no problem speaking it. Like it's not like a technical difficulty. I can speak it and spell it and I have no problem with that. I feel like it's more of the emotional side that I'm more able to express myself in English way better than in Spanish.
Yeah, you're just more comfortable with it. That's so interesting. Oh my God.
I think in English most of the time. That's why I think it's easier.
Oh my gosh, that is so. You think in English.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Not all the time, but most of the time. I guess, I don't know. I feel it's shorter, more practical. I don't know.
Wow. This is so freaking interesting to me. I don't know. It's so interesting because you live in a world where you're surrounded by Spanish, obviously.
Yes.
But you immerse yourself into English and it's become like you think in English. That's like you.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of as if it was my first language, but it's not.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's what and I think I don't do it. It's not voluntary. It's not like, okay, now I'm going to think in English and now I'm going to think in Spanish. It's
right.
Raw things. Like, I don't know, when I want to explain something in my brain, it I guess it's like, now that I think about it, I guess I can find situations in which I switch back and forth. Like, if I had to explain something, my brain makes an explanation in English. And then I find myself speaking in Spanish, like trying to translate what I'm thinking, which sounds so stupid.
So you're actually translating back to your first language.
I'm actually like translating what's in my brain. And there's a lot of words in English that make no sense or have no direct translation to Spanish. Yeah. The same with any language. There's also, and vice versa. There are terms and words in Spanish that have no direct translation to English, and I would have to say like a bunch of things explaining that one word. And that happens to me when I try to talk. So I guess that's why I'm not so good.
Do you ever like mix the two? Like when you're thinking like, oh, the la piece is very verde. Like, do you mix it ever? That's weird.
Spanish? No, maybe, I don't know. I think a lot of curse words in Spanish sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, but then...
Like in your head? I mean, like...
Right, in my head, yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's like, chinga tu madre!
Well, that's Mexican. Yeah.
Wait, what? Is that like a dialect or something?
Yeah. Chinga tu madre, which, by the way, is a mean thing. Don't never say it to anyone. It's like, fuck your mom or something. But it's from Mexico, because I guess chinga or chingar, I guess it's their way of saying fuck. Oh. But it's not the same way here.
Beep your mother. Just like a real reality show.
I mean, we say fuck. Fuck.
Who's this we?
Well, I'm
just kidding.
I curse a lot. I curse a lot in English, and I don't curse at all in Spanish when I speak.
Really?
Yeah, that's weird. By the way, if you message...
We didn't even do that, actually.
If you message Jake...
Me.
Yeah, he's Suppy, but in World, he's Jake. Suppy won't give you anything. But if you message Jake in World, he will give you a special Tea Talk espresso machine. Mm-hmm. And just for listening to us, it's a little price that you get for putting up with us. So do that.
Yeah, you can message me in World on Second Life.
On Second Life, yeah.
Which obviously you will need Second Life to get this prize. It's not a real espresso machine.
Yeah, no, it's not. Oh God. Oh God, no. If you don't know what Second Life is, go back to our first episode where we discussed it.
Where we talk about it, yes. You can email us, which our email is always down below. So
it's the teatalksl@gmail.com.
Yes, that's it. You can also send us message or questions on there, or things you want us to talk about, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait for that to happen. For when we actually take a call from someone, or
yeah, guys, because we want to have people on the show.
Yeah, talk to us.
So,
especially if you're on a cell, and if you're not on a cell, whatever, you can do it as well. All you need is Skype, and we can have you on the podcast. Because it's not like a regular podcast kind of deal, how normal people have it, but they have to meet in a room. We have it on Skype.
We're thousands of miles away from each other.
I'm in Argentina, and Jake is in the United States. So, yeah, we do it.
And who knows where you are? You could be in China. That'd be pretty cool.
China, and just
make sure you speak English.
Yeah, make sure you speak English, because we don't speak Chinese. I mean, we can accommodate somebody if they speak Spanish, but then why would you want to speak Spanish? You're listening to us speak English.
We would have to have Ash do that thing where the Spanish is really quiet, and then they're speaking over into English, translating it they do.
It's called dubbing.
Yeah, that thing. You can tell I'm really big in this industry.
I have some friends who don't speak English at all. I almost said Spanish. Who don't speak English at all, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool! You can speak and understand. Can you translate this for me?" I have most of my friends who don't know much of English, they just message me to get translations.
So you're their Google Translator.
Well, I guess Google Translator ruined a lot of my friendships, because some people don't message me anymore.
Oh my God, that's horrible. You got replaced by Google Translator.
They realized that you could just go to Google and get shit translated.
Oh my God.
They're like, oh, I don't need to message him anymore. Some of my best friends, they're like Madonna fans and stuff, and she will listen to a song, or maybe she had a song, and she will be, oh, this is my favorite Madonna song. It's been all my life. Can you tell me what it says?
It's my favorite song. Right. I don't know what it means.
And I always try to make it prettier. If the lyrics aren't so great, I try to make it. Oh my God. Yeah, sometimes I do take a poetic license, and I'm like, oh, she would like it if it said this. So I don't lie, but Well,
when you're translating and there's not a perfect exact.
I interpret it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I interpret it in a way that she would love and she would be happy, because I'm a good friend.
Are you talking about Madonna?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. I mean my friend.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
Oh, yeah, no, that got a little weird. That got a little weird.
That got a little blankety.
Yeah, bleep, bleep, bleep. I feel like that, yeah. I wasn't talking as if I know what Madonna would like. I was talking about my friend who is a female.
Okay. I was like, okay, you're taking a lot of license there.
Yeah, no. My friend who's a female, and she likes Madonna, and
Okay.
I interpret the words in a way she would be pleased, because I'm a good friend of my friend, not of Madonna.
Not okay. I think I got it now.
Good. I guess it is in English. I'm not as bitchy as I am in Spanish.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
You're having a hard time believing that, because I guess I am a bitch all the time.
No. That's just interesting that you're almost a different person depending on what language you're speaking.
I am meaner in Spanish, apparently.
Wow.
And now I see it, because I was telling you earlier, not you podcast listeners, I was telling Jake earlier about my dad, and how whenever I have interactions with him, I love my dad, but he's annoying sometimes. And the way I express how annoyed I am is, I guess, is very
blunt.
Blunt. I don't want to say intimidating, because I don't feel like I'm intimidating, but I do feel like my dad's intimidated. Like he doesn't want to annoy me, because I was just telling Jake earlier, sometimes he brings me my food and he knocks on my door, and I open the door and I say hi, thank you. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, son, sorry.
Lo siento, lo siento, lo siento, lo siento.
No, he just says perdón.
Oh. I didn't know that one. Okay, go on. Sorry.
And I'm like, I wasn't doing anything that you're like horribly interrupting by bringing me my dinner. And like, that's not even the point. Like, even if I'm doing something, like, I'm very pleased to stop doing it and open the door to my dad who brings me my food.
Food is good.
So like, I'm like, why do you apologize? And like, that annoys me, that he apologizes every time he interacts with me. I'm like, stop apologizing to me.
Have you ever said that to him?
No.
Well, then he's just going to keep doing it, isn't he?
I know. Well, I've told my mom.
What did she say?
She just laughed because I told her about it like it's a funny thing. Like
it is funny though. Like I'm just thinking about everything I've heard about
every
your dad.
time Dad knocks on my door, he apologizes. Even after I said, "Hi, Dad, thank you," he goes, "Sorry."
That is so funny.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. He does it in Spanish. He doesn't say I'm sorry because it would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
No. Here's my dad's level of English. We were traveling in Patagonia a few years back. I was like 14 or 15. And we ran into like a backpacker that was like walking around in the mountains. And he needed like a lift to this place that was nearby. So we gave him a lift. Mm-hmm. By the way, he looked terrible.
Really?
He looked terrible. He looked like I believed that he was in the wilderness for 2 days.
Oh my.
Because he was hiking for 2 days and then he needed a lift to meet his friends. He was from England or something.
Oh.
I really can't remember his accent at all. But what I do remember, because he looked really tired, and we had like a van with like space in the back, and that's what we used when we would go long road trips, because Patagonia is not anywhere near where I live, so it was a long ass road trip. So we had like the back of the van with like a mattress, and that's where I slept while my parents drove. And and my dad like opened like the door, and he wanted to tell the guy to like sit down a little bit and relax because he looked really tired. And he was like, sit down un poco.
Un poco. Sit down a little bit.
He was like telling him, sit down un poco.
Oh my god. Did you speak English at that point?
Yeah, I did, and I was so embarrassed.
Did you say anything to him?
No, because I was embarrassed. And also, I wasn't out, and the guy was really attractive, so I was embarrassed by a bunch of things. And I was 14, so I was like stupid, like entirely stupid. And there's this attractive hiker.
May have been English, which means if he did have an English accent, it would make it even more like, whoo.
I would have fallen in love, other than the fact that the guy was probably like 20-something and I was 14.
This would be a great novel. The summer I fell in love with the European backpacker. It was just 20 minutes, but it was 20 minutes of love.
Yeah, but I didn't even interact with the guy. I was in the front of the band, and like the front and the back were not communicated.
Oh.
And yeah, but that's the level of English that runs in my family. My mom knows a little more, but yeah, she can't like speak it or anything. And like when she reads it, like she knows some of it. Mm-hmm. But she always asks me like she will see a movie title or something and she'll write it down, because here they get translated to the weirdest things.
Really?
Yeah. For example, the Notebook, it's translated into Diario de una Pasión, which means Diary of a Passion.
Oh.
Which I guess sort of makes sense, but
that's a little bit more beautiful.
It is.
Like,
but they could have just called it the Notebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
Like Jaws, for example. I'm just thinking of movie titles that are translated different. Jaw or Jaws. I don't know. Well,
Jaws.
It's translated into shark, like the word shark. It's tiburon. It means shark in Spanish.
So they just called the movie Shark.
Yeah, it's just called movie Shark. So they were pretty close to Sharknado.
Sharknado.
So I guess in Spanish it would be tiburon-nado.
Oh my god. NATO. Speaking of Spanglish.
Well, tornado is also spelled the same way in
Oh, really?
Spanish. Yeah. It's just pronounced differently. But yeah, like my mom will sometimes write down movie titles and she'll ask me because she was like, they translated into some weird thing. And I knew that wasn't what it said on the screen. So I wanted you to tell me, what does this word mean?
See, I guess here we don't have that problem because there's nothing, like, stuff isn't translated here. You know what I mean?
Unless you get like novellas and then you're like, what
Right.
does that mean? The most of the media is a lot of movies and a lot of stuff that we get here is in English.
Yeah.
Because it's like worldwide stuff from Europe or America. So we get stuff translated weirdly.
Does that frustrate people?
No.
No? It's just kind of a thing you deal with?
It only frustrates people that know English. Like, it frustrates me. Like, it even happens to me with, like, subtitles. And not just that. Like, for example, The Simpsons.
Uh-huh.
I watched it all my childhood, and I watched it dubbed in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, they found a person that did Homer's voice that sounded a lot like the real Homer.
Really?
Well, not a lot, but close. What Homer would sound like if he spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
But then, like, watching a couple episodes again, like today, I watched them in English, and I'm like, wow, I'm discovering, like, new jokes that got ruined with the translation. Yeah. And, like, my mom watches sitcoms. She loves The Big Bang Theory, 2.5 Men. She watches all those sitcoms.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be watching something with her, and I don't read the subtitles. I don't pay attention. But sometimes I'll read them, and I'm like, that's not what they said. Like, it doesn't.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it doesn't go too far, but I guess to make the joke make sense in Spanish, they
gotta change it.
Sometimes they do change something like entirely, so it makes sense in Spanish.
See, I think the only thing I have to compare that to, although I'm not bilingual, but like the whole something in a different language being dubbed into English would be like, okay, we've all seen.
Operas?
Oh, well, there is that too, but I think that's a whole different thing. But yeah, that is something. But even the ones in English, you need subtitles. Anyway, but like the kung fu movies that are in, I don't know what language, but they're dubbed into English and their mouths are moving and they're speaking English and the English is done, but their mouths are still moving. And to me, like, I could just never get past that. Like, I'm just like, wait, what's going on? And it bothered me, like, because I remember we would watch some of those that were dubbed into English. It was like an old kung fu movie or something.
Well, but that's just bad dubbing. Because if they do it right, it shouldn't. Like, watching The Simpsons, like, well, I guess cartoons are easier to dub because the cartoon mouth is, like, easier to match.
It's like open and close.
Yeah, open, closed, open, closed. But then I've seen dubbed movies, and it depends on the dubbing. Like, sometimes they do a really good job, and it matches at least the time when the lips are moving, sound is coming out. And
yeah,
that's also another reason why they sacrifice some jokes to shorten stuff to match the lips. It's so complicated.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole world should just speak one language. But then again,
that would be so cool.
It would be cool, but then again, like, culture and the value of it.
Oh, yeah. Everyone would want their language to be the language.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we come up with a new one. Pig Latin.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I already learned English. I don't want to learn no language.
Well, if you learn English, you know Pig Latin. I can't remember how to do it though. Or is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like you take the first something. I don't know how to do Pig Latin. Never mind.
Those languages that you learn in middle school and you feel so cool speaking them.
Yeah, it's like no one knows what I'm talking about.
But everybody does.
But everybody does.
Yeah, we had those here.
Or like when you're writing a note to someone and you're like, I'm going to use numbers instead of letters.
Right.
A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. No one's ever going to be able to translate this.
Not even your friend.
I'm going to write all the words backwards and no one's going to get it.
I think I went on a tangent. But my point was that I guess I'm mean to my parents sometimes. In Spanish.
But you're not really meaning to be.
I'm not meaning to be. It's just that it's also a weird thing that's happened in my head. And it's a weird thing for me to explain to them. Like, how am I going to sit down and be like, Mom and Dad, you have to understand that my brain is fucked up and I'm thinking responses to what you're saying in English. So you had to give me a moment while I translate and I make sense of it in Spanish and say them to you.
How do you think they would react to that, though?
Oh, they would be understanding. My parents are great. I just don't want to, you know?
Like, honestly, I don't know how my parents... They'd be like, wait, so you think in Spanish? I'd be like, yeah. Like, what?
I've mentioned it on occasion because sometimes it happens mostly with my mom because I have long conversations with my mom because she's in the house more time than my dad. And I'll sometimes stop myself and be like, oh, hold on, I'm trying to think of this word in Spanish. I just explained to her. I just think of this expression in English and I'm trying to have it make sense in Spanish to you. And she doesn't look at me weird. She's like, oh. And then she's like, oh, yes.
See.
She's not like weirded out. Yeah. I think that's also why my face always looks bitchy, but it's not bitchy face, it's processing face. I should have like a rainbow pinwheel on my that appears in front of my face like I'm thinking. Like the hourglass for Windows users. Processing. I don't hate you. I'm just trying to figure out how to talk to you. I'm crazy. I do believe it's like most likely a deep psychological problem that I have. That
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it would be a psychological. Well, I guess.
Yes.
No, I think it's cognitive. I think it's more cognitive.
Maybe.
Because it has nothing to do with like your psyche. I don't think it does. I think it's. I mean, obviously. For the record, I'm not a psychologist or a scientist or anything like that, but I feel like it's more cognitive how your brain processes something versus your psyche and like your personality or anything like that.
Right, but if it affects my personality though, because Sebastian outright said it, you're bitchier in Spanish. Yeah. My parents don't say that because they don't have a chance to compare, but Sebastian understands English. And he's told me sometimes when we're not arguing, but exchanging opinions about a certain subject.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do switch to English, and then I would stop myself. I'd be like, oh, sorry, let me try to say this in Spanish. And he would be like, no, I prefer that you'd speak English because you're less bitchy.
Wow. But you know, it's kind of like, okay, I don't know about bitchy, but it's kind of like when you talk to someone who, or for me, I can't say you, but when I talk to someone who English is their second language and they're kind of rough around the edges, and not necessarily that Spanish is their first, but anyone who English is their second language and they don't communicate well or they speak broken English.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, it's hard to get who they are, not necessarily who they are, but it's just things don't come across as it would if they were speaking English as their first language.
Yes, because sometimes they come across super bitchy.
Yeah, because but
you don't mean it.
Right. Yeah, but it's just kind of weird because Spanish was your first language. I mean, it was because I think now English is your first language.
I definitely spend more time speaking, thinking, and writing in English than I do in Spanish.
Okay, well, I'm going to assign you a homework assignment. Every night you need to write a journal entry in Spanish.
Oh, God.
And you have to express all your true feelings.
That would be a healthy exercise, actually.
I take back that statement about me not being a psychologist.
You're not, I was going to say you're not a therapist, but that would be helpful. It would help me express my feelings. But it would also be a waste of my time. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm a weird person.
No, I think it's really interesting and cool. You can communicate two different ways.
Let's leave it at that.
Even if one may be stronger than the other one.
Even if one is super bitchy. And it cuts to footage of me speaking in Spanish and like someone approaches me and they're like, hola, ¿cómo estás? And I'm like, vete, puta.
I only knew one of those words, but it was a curse word.
Yes, vete means like go away.
Go away, bitch.
Go away, whore.
Oh, it's 4? Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm more bitchy in Spanish.
I don't know why people say that I'm bitchier when it's
Oh my god, that's fun.
No.
This is gonna sound weird, but the couple times you've spoken Spanish,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're a person who speaks English speaking Spanish. I don't know if it's because I've only ever heard you speaking English, but it'd be like, I don't know, that's just so weird. Wow.
I do say it. Maybe you caught Sebastian the other day, or not, but I was saying words in Spanish and he was like, say it in Spanish. Because I don't know. I was saying hola instead of hola.
Oh, okay. So you can kind of go back and forth.
When I speak to people that speak Spanish, I speak it in my Argentine accent.
Okay, well, I guess I'm never going to hear that.
No, never.
Sorry, I tried, guys.
Right, yeah, but when I do speak Spanish to people that speak English, I don't do a convincing. Oh my god, I'm already glitching.
This has got to be a mind fuck, though.
I know. I don't.
Because now you're going between English and then Argentine Spanish and your English Spanish.
Yes. But yeah, I don't do a convincing Spanish because I'm like, well, they wouldn't get. I feel like they wouldn't understand if I do a convincing Spanish accent.
Right. Yeah.
And it happens to me the other way around when I try to speak. Not when I try to speak, but when I say something in English to somebody who's not natively English speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dumb it down, but I don't do it in like a convincing English or American accent.
So if you were to go to your parents and start talking to them in English, you wouldn't do it like you talk to me.
Right. It's weird for me to, because they will ask me about a word, and it's weird. I'll be like, well, the pronunciation is this. Like, I will say it in a Spanglish kind of way first.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, well, it's really pronounced this way. But I can only do it like that. Like when I was telling you that banana is pronounced banana.
Yeah.
It's like I have to explain, okay, I'm going to say this word the way that those people say it.
Yeah.
But I can't naturally do it. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's so... Oh my god.
Yeah, my brain. And that's just like one bit of it. My brain is complicated.
That cognition, though.
I don't know. I don't know what it means for. If I ever go to therapy, I'll sure ask them to help me with what that means.
Let's get some web therapy going on.
Yes.
Speaking of Lisa Kudrow.
Yes. Yes. Let's cut to you talking more, because all I hear is my annoying voice, and I just picture myself editing this and being like, "Shut up."
That was an interview of you, so.
Oh. Ooh.
I asked you questions and you answered them. That I think is an interview.
Ooh, I feel so fancy.
Fancy.
I've just been interviewed, Frederick. I just got off my interview with the T-Talk.
See, now imagine your parents hearing that. I'm like, what? Oh my god.
It happens to me sometimes that I'm doing like a weird voice in English, and I hear them like out in the yard or something, and I'm like, they heard me doing that weird voice. Or not just that, I'll be like speaking like super gay, which I mean I do speak pretty gay all the time, but I'll be like gaying it out more. Like I don't know, I'll be talking to like Grant and you guys, and I'll be like, yes, mama, word, bitch. You know, I'll be doing like the Kiki voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I want them to hear that side of me.
I don't want to hear that.
Oh my god, I love the comeback.
Oh, the comeback is amazing. And I feel like most people who are going to hear this have not seen it.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there for free. If you don't have Amazon Prime,
buy it. Buy a DVD.
Buy it. Do not illegally stream it.
Or do. I'm not your mom, but you shouldn't. You should buy a DVD or get in.
Yeah, I think it's really cheap, actually.
Yeah.
Because I looked and it was like $6 on Amazon or something.
I mean, come on. $6 for DVD quality, bonus extras.
I actually kind of want to get it just for the extras and the bonuses, to be honest.
They're on YouTube, but yeah.
But basically, what it's about, Lisa Kudrow
for
is
people who've never seen it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Lisa Kudrow, and if you don't know who she is, you should, obviously. She's Phoebe from Friends.
Malika.
She plays a has-been actress named Valerie, right?
Valerie Cherish.
Okay, I suck at names. Oh my gosh. Valerie. That's a whole other story. And it's basically in the format of raw footage, uncut footage of a reality show of a has-been actress, and it's her comeback into the TV industry, and it's hilarious.
It came out around 2005, I think, or 6,
4 or 5, because they're saying it's been 10 years.
Oh yeah,
4 or 5.
So reality shows at the time were like The Amazing Race and Big Brother,
The Real World.
I guess you had The Real World, a couple. There weren't as many as there are today. Today you can watch the reality show of the assistant of a stylist that worked for an actress. Today everybody has their own reality shows, but back in the day it wasn't like normal to see a reality show.
Right, and they were in the format, think of like the Osbournes, like where they followed around people just doing everyday things.
Yes, and it wouldn't be too embarrassing, but yeah, the comeback is kind of like that.
Except they don't make it happy.
Right, it's not like a happy thing. Like, it's implied that you should laugh at it.
Right, it's a comedy for sure. You're going to laugh.
At the time, people were not ready for that. People felt really bad for Lisa's character, and they didn't get it. They were like, "Oh, poor woman. What is happening?"
Right, because she is it is about a has-been actress, and so these things that happen that had it been edited right could have turned out kind of funny, but since it's just this raw footage, it's just like, oh, this is sad. Can't go into too much detail or anything, but it's just, we
can't go into detail. It's been out for 10 years.
I mean, well, I know, but I mean, like,
spoilers,
without like
sorry.
explaining like a scene or
Yeah.
something is what I mean.
Well, yeah, it's, for example, it's the first scene of the show, so I'm not going to ruin much for you. She's like in her kitchen, and she's looking at the camera, and she's like, "This is my combat." And like the camera keeps moving, so she's like, "Oh no, sorry, we can't use that because the camera keeps moving." And like she says this to the producers and the directors, and then she says it like 5 more times, like, "This is my combat. Like, this is my combat." Like, you see all those takes and stuff, it's like uncut, and it's like sad to watch somebody trying to get
it's like sad, and you have that awkward feeling like
right, like it makes you uncomfortable. But I feel like people today are more used to television that makes them uncomfortable.
Right.
I mean, most watched reality shows are like Teen Mom or 16 and Pregnant, or The Real Housewives, which are like these women fighting each other all the time, and people watch them for the uncomfortable moments.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole different, like, honestly, it's a whole different kind of comedy that I've never experienced before until I watched that show.
Right, because it's not a sitcom. There are no laughing tracks.
Right.
At the time, I feel like comedy was more the sitcom format. Like, you're watching something and you hear laughing tracks. So, oh, that was a joke. Oh, okay. Oh, it's okay for me to laugh at it because the show is telling me to laugh at it.
Right.
But with the comeback, the show isn't telling you to laugh at it. It's just raw, unedited. It just shows you the footage.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that was harsh. Oh, but it's kind of funny. I don't know if I should laugh or not.
And that's what generates the uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
Because you're like, the show isn't really telling me what I should be doing. It's not telling me to laugh. So I don't know if I should laugh or I should feel bad for this person.
And really, hopefully you end up doing both.
Well, I did feel really bad for Valerie, where I did laugh most of the time. If you look at comedy shows now, well, it's not just now, because it was always like that, like Seinfeld, like everything. Frasier, for example, like we would laugh at how poorly a date would go for him.
Right.
That's been on sitcoms forever. It's been on Seinfeld and Friends. we laugh at that, but there's a laughing track.
They kind of make it to or they make it to where it's like, oh well, he should have seen that coming or something.
Right. They build it up, and you're like, oh, he's so dumb.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, poor Jerry or poor Frasier.
Poor Jerry.
But I'm laughing.
But I don't know, with the comeback, there were times when like, oh, that's funny. That's really sad. And like, I literally had to stop and say, okay, this is a character named Valerie. This isn't actually Lisa Kudrow. Lisa Kudrow is actually a successful, probably happy woman. Okay, good. I can laugh. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing. Lisa said on interviews that I watched that at the time people thought people were confused and because Friends just ended, so they didn't know if it was about her, and she was like, "No, this is the character, people. I'm fine."
I'll be honest. The first time you sent me a thing to watch it, and I wasn't sure if it was like supposed to be footage from an actual. Like, I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be her. I knew it was acted because it was so like crazy, but I thought maybe until they said Valerie, I was like, oh, okay,
right.
So it's not about Lisa, because I don't remember a show called I'm It or whatever.
Right. Yeah, because on the show, Valerie used to be on a famous sitcom called I'm It, and she was the star of that, and now she's not. So I guess you could see the similarities with Lisa, because she used to be a star of Friends, but now Friends was over. So I guess that's bound to happen. It was.
Yeah, I was just about to say off the record, we shouldn't talk too much about a show someone hasn't seen, because people get really bored by that really quick. I just thought about that because I could talk all day about it, and oh my gosh, I want to, because I love that freaking show.
I know.
But then I think about when I'm hanging out with people and they're talking about a show I've never seen, and I just kind of tune it out.
Well, but it happened to me with podcasts that they talk about not if they talk a full hour about a show, but they'll talk about a show and they'll tease it, and I'm like, that's interesting, and I'll watch it. Actually, how I heard about the comeback was on Girl on Guy, the Aisha Tyler podcast with Lisa Kudrow, and they were talking about the comeback, and I was like, what's this? I've never heard of the comeback. I know Web Therapy, but I never heard of the comeback, and I looked it up and I found it, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I love it. And by the way, I think it's important to mention that it's not a reality show. No. It's fully scripted.
Yes.
From start to finish, every take, everything is scripted, and it is edited. It's just pretending to be the unedited footage of a reality show.
Yes.
But
that is very important to say, actually.
Yeah. What's another show we've been watching?
Well, God, there's such a long list lately. Another one I don't think people probably have heard much about is The Chair.
Oh, yes, The Chair. Oh, my God. I forgot about it.
Right? And I feel like a lot of people don't know about it. I hadn't even heard of it.
But yeah, it starts with a Z. It has a show called The Chair.
And for those of you listening right now, before you write it off, you can watch it for free on Stars. Right?
Yeah,
can't
on the Stars website with your cable information. If
you have, yeah.
But they're streaming 5 episodes for free on the website, like as a preview. And it's really interesting. It's a reality show. It's about how 2 completely different directors can grab the same screenplay and make a movie of their own. And they're making 2 different movies from the same screenplay. And one of the contestants is Anna, something.
She says like, Anna, but it's Anna.
It's Anna, girl. Girl, it's Anna. This is America, and your name is Anna. She's a film student. She's mostly a writer, and she's never had directing experience. And the other contestant is American treasure, VIP. Dearly beloved YouTube star, Shane Dawson. Shane is our queen. Yes. By the way. Slay, queen, slay.
And if you don't know who he is, please don't tell me.
If you don't know who it is, you are well over 30 or 40 years old.
Right?
And you don't have kids who watch it.
Yes.
Who watch his videos.
And if you did, don't watch the videos.
And if you are like over 50, male, and you're watching Shane Dawson's videos, you're weird. You're weird, and you're watching a younger kid
Oh my God.
wear wigs and say shit and stuff.
Oh my God.
I thought it was really interesting, and I don't know how many seasons the chair is gonna have, because I feel like it's more of like a one-time thing.
I don't know. I feel like it's such a cool idea, and
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know when you told me what it was about and that they're making 2 movies with the same script. Well, not same script, but the same playwright or whatever.
Yeah,
it's called.
the same original script that they get to edit a little bit or a lot.
Right. So basically the same overall story, but 2 different producers, and we can tell just by what we've watched for the first 5 episodes. Actually, on the first episode, you could tell they're going to be 2 totally different movies.
Yeah, it's because it's 2 very different people.
Yeah.
I feel like Anna is more of an old school kind of approach to a director, because she's studied, she's been to like film school or whatever.
She goes more for the realistic kind of.
Yeah. She pays a lot of attention to her writing, and or not that Shane doesn't. She has a different approach to it. And Shane, he also once says he's wanted to make a movie his whole life. But I don't have the facts. Sorry, I didn't go to Shane's Wikipedia. But I don't think he has gone to film school.
I don't think so either. He's never mentioned it.
I think he's learned by doing it.
Yeah.
Which is how I learned English. So, hey, Shane, we connect in some way.
His style is more, it's a comedy, obviously, and it's not as realistic. Like, for instance, there may be characters who he plays.
It's more of a cartoonish reality.
Right, like he'll play a character and it's a female. Obviously, that's not realistic. If he appears even in the show twice, it's 2 different characters. And, I mean, it's comedy that is just not as realistic.
And it's not like the movie White Chicks.
Oh my God.
But kind of, yeah, because he does get in drag, and he does it in his videos, and sorry for the spoilers, but he does get to do it in the movie. And yeah, he plays a very exaggerated reality. But I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm excited to see it. By the way, both movies actually premiere. They're real movies on theaters that people go see, and you can buy on iTunes. Go buy Shane's movie.
Yeah, and if you don't have iTunes, because you may not be an Apple kind of person, you can get it on Amazon. And they're not very expensive. And
I think it's like $9.99.
And you can watch it instantly. You don't even have to like wait for it to be shipped to you, which I don't think they're producing DVDs probably.
Well, you have to download it.
Yeah, I don't think it was even like a nationwide release thing. Like I would like for the theaters. I think it was in New York City first, and then it was traveling to LA or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that's the thing. They're making a movie on a budget, a very low budget, and it's an indie film. Like it's not a big produced thing.
It's independent. It's not backed by any huge film companies. It's independent and it's low budget. Whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very interesting, the reality show, to see the process of it, coming together. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, so far, I'm Team Shane.
Obviously, me too.
Hashtag
Anna can go write herself a little story.
And poor Anna. I feel bad for Anna.
I don't.
I feel bad because, just because I didn't know her, I guess I was more inclined to lean to be more biased for Shane. But here's the thing. I'm not even like a crazy huge fan of Shane's videos. I like Shane as a person. I love his podcast. And I love a lot of his videos, but I'm not like, I don't know. I guess, I don't know if the way it's edited. Because it's funny because when you were telling me that you think they like Anna more the way they edit, and I feel like they edit it in a way that Shane looks better and she looks dumb.
I started to see that too. Like they almost, I don't want to give anything away or anything, but you have this really confident character. They're not characters, they're actual people. This really confident person in Shane, and then you have Anna, who's like this insecure, out of her realm, not sure what she's doing kind of girl.
Whereas Shane is always just like, okay, let's do this.
Let's do this. I've been waiting to do this my whole life. What are we waiting for?
I feel like they probably edited Anna to look shittier because she was always struggling with the process of being filmed. Like she was always like,
there's probably a lot of footage they couldn't use.
You see a lot of her going, guys, can we not film this? Guys, can we get some real privacy?
Yeah. Or something will happen and she'll glare at the camera. I'm like, really?
I can just imagine the producers being like, girl, well, you agreed to be filmed on a reality show. You don't get real privacy unless you're pooping.
Right? You want a movie? You're going to be filmed pooping.
You want to get your privacy, you better make a phone call while you're pooping. Otherwise, you're getting filmed.
And then we'll still have the mic on.
Yep, your mic, bitch.
So you better not have any
we have audio.
Extraneous noises.
We can edit the farts out and we'll just use the audio.
But we won't.
But we won't. We'll just have like bat footage of her. Like they just put like a still shot of her, like a bad one, like with one eye closed and the other kind of opening. And it's just the audio and there's like a plaque underneath that says audio from Anna's bathroom. And you just hear her shitting and talking on the phone like, I hate everyone. I'm so done with this reality show.
No. Okay, I'm not going to give anything away. There was a scene that something like that kind of happened.
This might actually be on the show, so watch it. It's fun. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I've also gotten you into Parks and Rec.
Oh, God. Talk about a show that will literally make you laugh out loud, maybe even actually slap your knee. Like, seriously, I'm not even kidding.
There's a lot of knee slapper moments.
Yes. Oh my God.
I love that show.
And see, I don't know what kind of comedy to call that. Is it like...
It's a mockumentary.
Well, would it be... But when I think of a mockumentary, I think of like a...
The Office?
No. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what mockumentary is, but I think of a fake documentary.
That's what it is.
But this seems more like a fake reality show.
Well, it's a reality show is still kind of technically a documentary.
Okay, well, go on. Sorry.
I mean, well, yeah, no, because it's not a reality show because it just became like the reality show genre because the documentary genre is such a taboo that nobody wants to watch a documentary. But yeah, I think it started with The Office, and I may be totally wrong, but the first reference of it that I have is The Office. And it's like this alleged documentary that is being filmed about this office, but it's not real.
Yeah.
So it's like a fake reality show.
I think most people know what The Office is.
Yeah. So Parks and Rec is basically the same.
Yeah,
but
it's just in a different...
in
a Parks and Rec office.
Yeah. But what's different from Parks and Rec and The Office is that The Office was mostly at the office, while Parks and Rec just follows the characters wherever they go. When they go to a bar, they go to eat dinner, they go home. There's footage of everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I think they do show them in The Office doing other things, but it was always mostly in The Office, if I recall correctly.
I don't know. I tried to watch The Office, and I just kept comparing it to Parks and Rec, and I couldn't. I know The Office came first, but Parks and Rec... It
came first in the UK.
Wait, what?
Yeah, The Office was from the UK, and then they did an American version.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, like, before Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah. Also, yeah.
But I couldn't. I was like, I don't know if I can watch The Office because it's just not as funny as Parks and Rec.
Oh, that's divisive. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun. It's different. It's different. But yeah, there you go. Leslie Knope, played by Amy Poehler.
Who?
You need to learn actors' names.
I know. I have this problem.
When it's Amy Poehler.
I have this problem where I learn people's names based off their character. Like, for the longest time, I called Kelsey Grammer. I would just call him Frasier. I'd be like, oh, Frasier's in this movie. Frasier's in this movie. I mean, I know it's not Frasier. Yeah. And so the other day, Ash and our friend Hideki was talking about Amy Poehler. Is that her name?
Yes.
Was talking about Amy Poehler. And I was like, who?
We were talking about Amy being on the Kroll show, the Nick Kroll show.
Yeah. And I was like, who? Amy Poehler? Who? And I had just finished watching like all the seasons of Parks and Rec, which she's the main character of. And they're like, what? Are you serious? Who's Amy Poehler? I'm like, yeah. Then they're like, it's Leslie. I was like, well, why didn't you just say Leslie?
Because we know her as Amy Poehler. We don't know her as Leslie. I knew her from SNL. I saw her on SNL first. But anyway.
Sorry.
Anyway, Leslie is kind of like a Valerie because the reality show crew or the documentary crew at Parks and Rec follows the life of Leslie, and she is clumsy and things go wrong for her 80% of the time.
80% of the time.
But because of the editing and the jump cuts and like the cuts to reaction phases.
Reaction phases, yeah.
Reaction phases are the best.
Yes.
It's like it's funnier. The show is telling you through the editing. The show's telling you, laugh at this. This. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to laugh.
See,
but
yeah,
the comeback.
You're so right on that.
Yeah, the comeback is just raw footage, so it's just like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where also Leslie is the reality where Parks and Rec happens. The Parks and Rec universe is kind of cartoony and crazy.
Yeah, because there would never be a place where in any government that would be like that. No one would act like that, though.
I wouldn't jump to conclusions.
I mean, I think everything. Okay, I think a lot of it is stuff that could happen. Probably does happen, but it's just so exaggerated.
Exactly.
To where it's unreal.
It's very exaggerated.
Very.
And the comeback is not exaggerated.
Yeah.
Enough. I mean, it is exaggerated. I mean, she gets casted on a show of 30-something-year-olds, and she arrives and is like a bunch of 24-year-olds or 20-year-olds, and they're like, oh yeah, the network wanted to go younger. And then they start all making out in bikinis and swimsuits. And I was like, yeah, it is very exaggerated, but
yeah,
you don't see it like that. It's the editing.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's the way the shows are edited that instruct the viewer to laugh at things or not.
Right.
Or be uncomfortable.
But that's kind of the brilliant thing about the comeback, though.
Because it's one of a kind.
Yeah. But then again, that's the brilliant thing about Parks and Rec. Because it makes it that much more funny. Like, I don't know. I feel like with Parks and Rec, if they didn't do that editing, I don't know if it'd be the same kind of comedy as the comeback.
No, I love it. I love that's the kind of editing that I mentioned earlier when I was saying, I don't know why people think I'm mean when I speak in Spanish. And then they would cut to footage of me.
Yes. Cussing someone out in Spanish.
It's footage of like my mom bringing me dinner and I'm like, get out of here, you whore. I'm fucking busy.
I just don't get it.
And then my dad comes in and he's like, I'm sorry.
Oh, that would so be on Parks and Rec. Just a lot of stuff happening at once, too.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of an April in
God.
real life, but in second life, I'm more of a Leslie.
April has some of those faces that are just like glaring and...
I know, she has the perfect face. Her name is Aubrey Plaza, by the way.
I didn't know that. I probably won't remember that either.
Of course! and she's really funny. By the way, I don't know if we said this or if we made it clear. The comeback is coming back.
Oh, we didn't say that.
We didn't say it. The first season was in 2004 or 5-ish, but it's coming back now in 2014.
10 years later, they're coming out with a season 2.
Yep.
It's making a comeback.
It's a comeback. They almost called it that.
It's funny because I just today, actually, I was looking on Amazon to see how much the DVD cost. And on the cover of the DVD, it says, The Comeback, the first and only season. And I'm like, oh, well, now they're going to have to change that, aren't they?
No, they had that. They had the first season and she's stepping on it. Like the way they have the picture done.
Uh-huh.
Is like the comeback, the first season, and like her picture is like her foot is stepping on the first.
And replaced with only, as in if there's not going to be another one.
Right, and they changed it with only because it got canceled.
Oh, that is so clever.
That's why they changed it to only because it got canceled.
Oh, in the show, it got canceled. Or did it actually get canceled?
In real life, it got canceled.
Oh.
Because people were not responding. People were uncomfortable. They weren't laughing.
I like being uncomfortable, personally, with some things.
Well, I feel like culture changed in 10 years. And now we enjoy it. We enjoy discomfort.
Yeah.
Like this podcast.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling really uncomfortable right now.
I hope we made you uncomfortable. And I hope whatever you do while you listen to podcasts, I hope it was made a little bit uncomfortable by our company.
Yeah, and I'm going to be really uncomfortable if you just sit there and listen and you don't do anything while you're listening.
That would be crazy. Please don't.
Please do not sit and listen.
Like, listen to this when you're working or doing something or traveling, but don't just sit at your desk and listen to us.
Yeah, staring at a wall.
Because I would feel like if you were physically in the room with us, I would feel like you're just sitting and staring at us and not saying anything.
Yeah, whereas if you're doing something, you're kind of like that person on the elevator who's like checking their phone while you're having a conversation.
Yeah,
and they're just
that's rude.
No. Like the third person who's like not with you.
Oh.
And they're checking their phone and you're talking to your friend and they're like listening to you, really. Never mind. That didn't work.
Oh, I got it.
No, we can't have that. That's a crazy person.
No, I'm using that.
You can't use. I need to know I'm being heard.
I love you. You're so much more nervous and so much more quiet now that I'm recording this one.
No, I'm not. Am I really?
You are now. Okay, a little behind the scenes for the people who listen to this, which are like 5 of our close and not so close friends. For the most of it, and by most of it I mean every time we record it except this time, Jake does the recording and the editing, but this time I recorded it. So because maybe he already is editing another episode and I didn't want it to pile up for him to have another episode to upload, but I felt like it already had been too long and we have more things to talk about.
Yeah.
So we're recording this for whenever it comes out.
Right.
It's probably going to be edited and ready before Jake's, but it's going to come out after. Just
for that, I'm going to finish it tomorrow. My one day off in the week, and I'm going to be editing a podcast. No. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Really.
More behind the scenes information about Jake's life. He started work again in real life.
That's not my excuse, though. My excuse is I'm lazy.
Oh, but it's not that you're lazy, but you're also working really hard in Second Life, and you're back to work in real life. So, of course, you're going to get lazy. When you get free time, you're like, I'm going to lay down and watch Frasier. You're not like, I'm going to sit down on my computer and edit this podcast. And
you really just said, like, one of the biggest comforts in life. I'm going to lay down and watch Frasier.
Right.
That just makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, but before, when you weren't working, it's like, whatever, I'll just sit and do this because I don't have nothing else to do but edit all the times that Ash repeats himself.
Whatever.
But yeah, it's my turn now. I love that I said that, and it's been recorded, and I'm probably going to be done with this episode, and you probably have like 5 more that you did.
I don't know about 5.
Maybe 2. Let's be realistic. Let's set realistic goals. I saw a Tumblr post, and now I'm just going on a tangent, and I promise I'm saying goodbye after this. But there was it was someone on Tumblr saying that they wanted Dita Ritz to be a model for, I don't know, saying what's a big brand? Versace.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's theoretical. Hoping that Dita Ritz is a model for Versace. And then someone really mean commented and they were like, well, I hope Dita Ritz gets a YouTube series or something like that. Let's set realistic goals for Dita Ritz. Yeah, no, I think it was I hope Dita Ritz gets her own talk show. And they were like, well, I hope she gets her own YouTube show. Let's set realistic goals.
Yeah.
I actually had that thought one time when I saw, and not to minimize her at all, because she's one of my favorite queens ever, and she's probably one of the most popular right now. But there were like groups and like campaigns, like let's get Bianca Del Rio to host SNL.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, let's get Bianca Del Rio to make YouTube videos. I mean, if you want to get someone, let's get RuPaul to host SNL.
Right? I mean, come on.
Like, I mean, it's not like SNL is embracing the drag queen community and they're going to have Bianca Del Rio on.
Yeah.
Without even having Ru in it.
They'll be like, Bianca who?
Right. If they're going to have a drag queen, they're going to have RuPaul.
Yeah, the biggest drag queen of them all.
Right. That rhymed.
I know. RuPaul.
It tickled.
The
it tickled
biggest
my brain.
drag queen of them all.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like me trying to get into the arcade. They have a waiting list. Like, SNL has a waiting list for movie stars and TV stars.
Yeah. Although, I don't know. I just want to say this. I don't think you getting in the arcade is that big of a reach.
Oh. Well, I feel like they have a waiting list.
I just feel like a few people need to like die first.
Right. For Bianca Del Rio to host SNL, first of all, RuPaul would have to die. First of all, RuPaul. And then a bunch of A-list celebrities would have to die. Like, a lot. It would be like an A-list Holocaust. And then...
It would be Hollywood.
And then...
Oh my God.
Maybe Bianca Del Rio would host SNL and be the musical guest as well. Adore Delano would be a musical guest.
Because there'd be no one left because they all died.
So all we have is drag queens. By the way, I love all the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. They are my queens. They are my idols. They are my heroes.
Very big fans here.
I'm just aware that the mainstream media is not taking them just yet.
Yeah.
Just yet.
But I feel like each season it becomes more and more popular.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Believe it or not, more and more people I know in real life who are not anywhere in the LGBT community at all have seen it, or they say they've watched it and they enjoyed it. They may not follow it, but they've seen an episode and they say they enjoyed it.
It's VH1 reruns.
Oh, there we go. I didn't know what I watch it online, so I'm just like,
That's
logo.
it. Because nobody, well, I don't know if a lot of people have logo there. I don't have logo here.
It's like a paid extra thing. The first time I saw it,
yeah, and it's like, I'm not gonna get a gay network. The first time I saw it, it was in VH1. It was old reruns on VH1. So that's where the mainstream people discover it. They discover it, and they're like, "This is an amazing show."
It is, though.
It's a mix of Project Runway and America's Next Top Model. And the Real Housewives. It's
and
all
even
wrapped in
in
one.
an aspect, it's even in some challenges a mix of like America's Got Talent, because there's like dance. There's to an extent there's dance.
Yeah, it's American Idol. It's everything.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
All around competition, like the not only doing drag, which is a lot of work for a person to do drag. That's what people say, that people that are not familiar with the LGBT community and we're not familiar with drag, like, I don't know, like a straight couple, they'll watch it. The first thing they'll say, I never knew how much work it takes to be a drag queen.
Yeah, and a lot of people actually have like this vision of a drag queen in their head who don't really know anything about the drag scene, of like this, like, you know, the stereotypical drag queen, like big and broad shoulders, and I don't know. And then they see the show, at least the people I've talked to, and they're...
I don't think it even comes to type of drag, but a type of personality. I think people assume that drag queens are wannabe transsexuals.
Yeah.
They're just gay men who want to be women, so they put on a dress and a wig. And it's not that at all.
Right.
It's not that by 1,000 miles.
But what I was going to say is, like, a lot of them are like, I did not know they could look so close to a woman. I'm like, yeah, these are polished. This is how a lot of it is.
It's just, I was just saying that because I'm not a big fan of fishy queens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
I guess, Willem is my queen. I love her. And, him. because I read on Tumblr that he likes to go by he because he's a man. So he goes by he. His name as well. I guess he's sort of like on the quote unquote fishier side.
Yeah. You could, yeah.
But I'm more into the personality of it. Like,
Yeah.
he
See,
doesn't
to
drag
me,
comedy of it.
that's more of it to me, like the personality. I don't care if they're fishy. They could be, you know,
'Cause
like.
you have other queens, and I don't want to be mean and call out their names, but you have other queens that you're like, oh my god, that might as well be a woman, but the personality is flat as a real chest.
Mm-hmm. And I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah. I'm talking about a couple of people. And, you know, I mean, I commend them for all the work that they put into looking like that.
Yeah.
But just looks don't entertain me. However, there's an entire industry for just the looks.
Yeah.
For people who are just the looks, and they can't deliver a line, and they can't talk, and they can't interact with people, but they have looks. So they have their success. But it's not my market. It's not what I consume.
But there's a part of me that when they go on the runway or something, I'm like, wow, you know, it's like a spectacle.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wow.
It's one thing, the spectacle is one thing, the girl at the mall is the other thing. I know if Grant ever listens to this, he's going to cackle. No, Grant, you do not look like a girl at the mall. But yeah, because sometimes fishy queens, they just, I mean, sure, it is amazing that they look like a woman, like a real woman. But also, like, so what? But your outfit's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, there's so many types of drag. There's drag that is just a spectacle, and it's just the amazing, shocking look, and the club kids, and I don't know. Drag is such a rich culture.
Yeah, it really is. It just, that brings warm fuzzies to me too. RuPaul's Drag Race is like, oh, I could sit and watch that all day too.
I could watch them fight all day.
Right. Struggling to get that straw.
Tying up that cincher.
Better cinch that waist.
Yeah. Yes, I love RuPaul's Drag Race. And that's where we got basically the name of our show, the Tea Talk.
The Tea Talk.
What's the tea? The tea means the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you spill the tea.
We just spoke the truth for over an hour, almost two. So I'm going to say goodbye.
Oh my God. Wow. Where did time go?
I know. I'm going to have so much fun editing this.
Oh, I'm so glad tomorrow's my day off because it's so late. Oh, wait. I have to edit tomorrow.
You don't have to.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, see, this is the part where the podcast becomes really passive aggressive and we end up hating each other. Like the other day when we were taking pictures and we would just say hurtful things to make each other insecure.
You're so fat.
You're so fat. By the way, the picture that you see on the cover photo of our Facebook page, we took at our Second Life studio. The whole time I was just telling Jake that his avatar looked fat and short.
Sure, but the word stumpy even?
You look stumpy, short, and fat, but thank you, because it made me look so good. That was just me the whole time, just being a sweetheart. I'm America's sweetheart.
America?
Yes, America loves me. If they knew me, they would. But by the way, I was just kidding, and I was just messing with Jake.
No,
his avatar is not short or fat.
Well, I changed the shape after it.
My avatar wears 2 sizes bigger than his, probably because I'm taller. And your avatar is the same height as mine. I can't believe I feel bad about hurting your avatar's feet.
I can't believe you feel bad either. Because you know I don't care about anything ever.
But you do, because every time you're around, then you're like, oh, my avatar is so short. And I'm like, it's not. You're the same height. We just have higher wigs. And then you're like, oh, my wig is so small. If
I have that much of a problem, I can just edit appearance. Oh, I'm taller.
Right. That's the beauty of Second Life.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about Second Life much this one. This one was for everybody.
Yeah.
This one was for you, real people
We do this for the people.
that work real jobs in real life in a real office.
And also for the ones who don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, you're good too. You're fine. I think.
You too.
But you guys, if you work on like a real job and you get paid like real money, like just email us at the ttalksl@gmail.com and tell me how that feels.
I have to know.
I would love to know how that feels. Jake knows that he's had jobs. He has a job.
Yeah, the same damn job since high school.
It's whatever. It's a job.
Yeah.
I don't have a job.
I have so many stories I could talk about work. Oh my god.
Yes, I do. But I have a lot of Ezel work stories. Okay. How do we wrap this up? I forgot. We should say bye?
Yeah, because we kind of already said bye.
Oh.
Kind of. Because I think said, okay, I think we kind of wrapped it up, but now we should probably have like a reminder, like if you want to talk to us or something. Although you kind of said that for people who have jobs, but it was kind of a joke.
Yes. You could have just said it instead of told me what we need to say.
Well, I'm just thinking about editing. I don't care. You can edit this out.
You're just giving me more work.
I'm doing this on purpose.
Fine, that's all gonna go in the episode now.
Oh my god. Okay.
But anyway, if you guys would like us to talk about anything that we haven't talked about yet, you can email us at ttalksl@gmail.com. That's the ttalksl, no spaces, no dots, no underscores, no nothing, at gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook. I don't know our Facebook URL, but you can, if you're hearing this, you're probably some Facebook link. You can send us messages there or post on our walls, although that's kind of intimidating. Yeah, that's kind of forward. Don't do that. Send us a message. We will read the messages.
Yeah.
We will read your emails, and we will get back to you live, but not really, pre-recordedly.
Yes.
On the podcast and answer to your questions.
And also, don't forget that if you message me, that's Jake Vorden, or email me saying that you want the free Tea Talk espresso machine for Second Life, it's very stylish and cute, I will send that to you for free for listening.
Yes.
From Fancy Decor.
Yes. If you send him a message in World, then he'll just send it to you directly. If you send an email, please say what your username in World is.
Otherwise, I won't know what to do with it.
Because we don't know you. Okay.
And that's the tea.
That's that tier.
Cue the theme song.
I'm hanging up.
Okay.
Tea Talk, the best radio show. Spilling the tea with Ash and me. Tea Talk, the best radio show. Spilling the